Next time you're in Dollar Tree, head on over to their little garden section and grab you some of their little cement pieces. Recently, I found these little frogs and I picked up 2. I'm pretty sure there were 3 different ones though. And I grabbed this little joint right here because it's a lily pad. I mean, the store doesn't know it's a lily pad. It says it's decor, but I know it's a lily pad and now you do too. Now we're not reinventing the wheel here, people. We're going to give these a paint over. You know what I'm saying? We're going to start off with some Waverly ink chalk paint and a pouncer and just tappity tap 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 all over our pieces. You're welcome for the ASMR. We don't need those bits on the end of the lily pad, but I'm not going to throw those away. They're going to go in my stash. People, I love just using that modern black color over cement pieces. If you want to leave yours like this, it looks really beautiful. We're not going to do that. We're now going to grab my folk art crackle medium, okay? We're going to put this over top of the dry black chalk paint layer that we put on here. I'm going to put generous amount all over the piece. This stuff is very temperamental. If you've never used a crackle medium before, people, you're getting one shot at it when you go over it with your paint, okay? You're getting one shot. So apply this stuff, allow it to dry, and while it's drying, grab your lily pad and paint it up. Or you can leave your lily pad whatever color you'd like. I'm gonna paint mine like I think this is like a sage green. I had to mix some colors to get this because it didn't have this exact color. So if you're going to ask me what color it is, it's whatever I mixed up, okay? When our pieces were dry, and yes, they're going to be glossy. So you did nothing wrong. That crackle medium is going to dry glossy. Then grab you a paintbrush, put a decent amount of whatever you want your top color to be on that brush, and do single strokes. You don't want to do double strokes over top of this stuff because for whatever reason, it pulls it completely off of the section and then you'll have no crackle. You just have like a gap. So it is like a one shot type thing. And it's very tedious on something like this. But if you do small strokes and long strokes on the bigger sections, it actually turns out really, really well. Just be mindful. If you want, you can take a heat gun or a blow dryer. A lot of people ask, they're like, I don't have a heat gun. Can I use a blow dryer? Yeah, grab that sucker and use it. It's the same thing. I don't care what nobody says. That's a hill I'll stand on. So go ahead and come at me in the comments. Anyway, if you want to use a heat gun, it'll make these cracks larger. I was happy with them small like this and just carried on with the same technique for the next little frog. If you want to apply a sealer over these, you're absolutely welcome to. I did not. I left them just as they were. You have to let me know in the comments. Do you like them better crackled on up, or do you love that modern design better? I think I really like both of them. It just depends on how I will be styling them in my home. People, have you seen these large plastic gold trim chargers at Dollar Tree? No? Well, neither did I. I just recently seen these and I grabbed them because, you know, I have fear of missing out. And let me show you the sticker real quick. I've had people make nasty comments about, why do you call those plates chargers? Because it literally says it on the sticker, okay? And it really is plastic. Little tappity tap tap for you. And people, if you've never removed a sticker from a piece of plastic in general, doesn't matter where the plastic is, sometimes you might melt the plastic. I have absolutely done this. But if you put your heat gun or blow dryer or whatever you choose to use on a low setting and do not completely put it up to your piece, you can gingerly get that sticker off of there. Depending on it isn't one of them stickers that has like that super kung fu grip glue. You know, nobody likes trying to get those stickers off. Then you got to soak them and it's a whole situation. We're going to keep this really simple. We're not reinventing the wheel here, and grab some transfers. Now these are my own personal brand transfers, my TDS Creative product line, and we're going to take a couple sections out and layer these on top of one another to make a pretty design in the center. And you can take this idea and remix it, use whatever transfers you would like, or stickers. I have done this with Dollar Tree stickers before. I can't count the amount of plates I have created beautiful designs over. Normally I will take gold gilding wax and rub around the edges of the plate. I really love that style and prefer using the glass or the ceramic plates. For example, here's one I recently did with a decoupage napkin design, and I even put the gold trim around the inside of the plate. But you know, since Dollar Tree put the gold around the edge of these plastic joints, you know, cut my crafting job in half. I figure let's grab a couple of these joints and give you guys some creative, simple, easy ways to be able to utilize these and decorate them up to toss in your home. Really budget friendly, and I feel like this is absolutely stunning. Love that toil transfer in there. And again, take this idea and use whatever transfer you would like in yours. I absolutely love these little pieces that I came across recently in Dollar Tree. They had 3 different designs, but I just grabbed these 2. I didn't really care for the third design, but seriously, I don't really feel like you need to do anything to these pieces. They actually look nice on their own, just kind of popping them in your decor. Sure, you could paint them up if you want, but it just so happened for me, the little section that I had staged here with my minis, they kind of blended in really well and added just a little something something into the shelf. Now, the thing is, when I seen these, I initially was like, candle holder. I don't know why my mind goes there fairly often. I love to decorate with candles. I don't really burn them, but I like the way they look. But I did feel like adding that candle on top of there, the candle needed a little something something. So we're going to grab one of my TDS Creative Rice Papers. I am often decoupaging candles with napkins, but did you guys know that you can actually decoupage candles with rice paper as well? And people, we're not going to have to use Mod Podge to do that. Now, not all rice paper is created equally. I can't speak for a multitude of other brands, but my own personal TDS Creative brand is porous enough that you're able to decoupage these onto candles and they turn out absolutely gorgeous. Just like with anything else, you're going to decoupage, you're going to trim your piece down to what makes sense. I like to always give about a 1/2 inch over the sides of my candles so I can trim it down, and it leaves me room for error. Now, recently I discovered, I'm not sure if you guys are hanging out with me on Whatnot Live, but I do craft live on platform called Whatnot. The link is down in the description box for anyone interested. But I recently discovered doing this live that if I fray the edges where they meet, it actually blends better. So I fray the edges on my candles now. When you're happy with that, it is time to bring on in the parchment paper, okay? I use a new piece of parchment paper for every single candle that I decoupage because there will be wax residue on top of the parchment paper. And then it's time to bring on in the heat gun or your blow dryer. You can use a blow dryer, okay? You don't have to have a heat gun. You can use a blow dryer. And you cut off whatever size parchment paper you need. I just do a small section and then I will move the parchment paper as I am heat gunning this sucker and it's adhering to the candle, okay? Everybody is different. You'll watch different videos. People have different techniques. And my recommendation is for y'all to use what you think works best for you. If you want to tape your parchment paper down, you go right ahead. And you can see here how that wax is coming up through the rice paper. I like to take my hand and do a little rub, rub, rub. It helps keep the candle even, and it helps to make sure that that wax is evenly spread over top of your rice paper or your napkin, whatever you're decoupaging, okay? You can see where it's translucent on the section that is attached to the candle, and it is still pretty white on the side that it is not. You just carry on with that until you're completely done. Then I like to bring on in my X-Acto knife to trim down the top and the bottom. And if there's any areas that look uneven, I will bring the heat gun back on in just to touch them completely up after I trim off any excess wax. Now I feel like these little decor pieces look a little better with a decorated candle on top sitting on my mini shelf. I do wonder what these are actually made out of, if I could drill a hole in them or what, because I have a couple other ideas I wouldn't mind trying out. The excitement I had when I seen these at Dollar Tree in their frame section, people, I wish I grabbed more of them, to be honest with you. And the reason I was so excited is because this glue was hanging off. I'm like, oh, are they making it easy for us to be able to take these apart to DIY with? Well, you're about to witness it with me. And spoiler alert, they did. This hot glue just peeled right on off from around that second layer of glass, making it super easy to remove the inside of this. So you can transform these using all kinds of different DIY ideas. And I'm going to share two of mine with you right here, starting off with turning this into a tabletop decor piece using these little mini vases. Have y'all seen these? Have y'all seen these? So they're kind of everywhere right now, and I picked mine up off of Temu. You could get these from Amazon too. They're little magnets for the fridge. Aren't they flippin' darling? These mini vases. How cute are these? Since we're going to be turning this into a tabletop decor piece, we're going to just chop that twine off. If you want to pull those staples out, you go right ahead. That was a battle I was not willing to go at. We're gonna just display it without them showing. Next, we're gonna take our Type On Quick and Thick and declog it. And I know so many of you like watching me do this, so I left it in. It wasn't as aesthetically pleasing as it usually is, but this is what it is. Anyhow, these cute little vases have teeny tiny magnets on the back of them, and it's great because it allows them to be flat. And I just took a little bit of the Type On Quick and Thick and popped a dollop on the back where that magnet is. And then I spaced these three little vases out onto the glass. If you want to put some little feet on here to make sure it doesn't wobble, you go right ahead. And if you want to leave the hanger on here so you can hang it on the wall, you can do that as well. I also decided to share another fun way to use this DIY. You can take those dry erase markers and write little sayings around your piece. Switch the florals out for the season, switch the saying out as well. And I just wanted to show y'all that you can easily take your finger and just wipe that marker right on off. For the second idea, we're going to be using a piece of my TDS Creative Rice Paper. Now you can take this idea and remix it using a regular photo if you would like. You could use tissue paper. You can do a multitude of things with this idea, and I am sure you have seen something like this hanging in a store somewhere. All we're going to do is cut the image smaller than the frame, so this way it's kind of floating in the center. You can do this idea with a transfer. You could absolutely do this with the dried florals and put the glass back. There are so many different ways that you can take this glass and DIY really beautiful things. Now I am going to decoupage this on here using my favorite Mod Podge for glass, and that is the dishwasher safe Mod Podge. However, I didn't rub two brain cells together before I got started. I did it on the wrong side. I put it on the wrong side. I sure did. Lucky for me, it didn't dry, so I was able to just wipe that right off real quick. Now use one of my fan brushes just to apply a nice thin little layer right in the center and use my fingers to press this down. If you did not want to Mod Podge yours on here, you could absolutely use the double-sided tape and then peel it back off so you can switch out your design. There are so many different ways that you can put beautiful pieces in a floating frame that hangs on the wall. These would make for a beautiful cohesive collection. we're going to take this pretty wood decorative frame and transform it into a Dollar Tree tabletop decor piece. And for anyone wondering, it really does say wooden frame on the little piece. Now we need something to help it become a tabletop decor piece. And for that, I'm going to just grab some Dollar Tree wooden tumbling blocks to glue onto the side. And then we need a focal point, and I decided to go with one of IOD's molds. And this is a resin mold, and no, I don't do resin, okay? This was gifted to me. Next, we're gonna need to bring on in the drill and a super tiny drill bit. So we can put a hole in this sucker, okay? Because we want to be able to hang it in the center. And in order to do that, we got to put a teeny tiny, and I was nervous because I didn't know if we could drill this stuff. Okay, this was a first for me. You're witnessing it. Guess what? You know, if you ever want to get resin molds from anybody that sells them, now you know you can put holes in them. If you didn't know, now you know. For the color, I'm just going to go with my antique Waverly wax. And I like to, whenever I'm using wood, I will spray that first, because it helps me use less of the product, whether I am using the wax or using paint. And I'm just using a pouncer and tap in all over everything. While this was off drying, then I grabbed this peacock color, okay, in Waverly chalk paint. Now, I thought this was going to be like my agave. I really like this agave color, okay, and it was not. It was too bright. It was too, I guess, peacocky. I don't know. So I took some white paint and then went over it, just kind of light dusting it, hoping it would do something else for it. I hate that I'm even, I love the project, but this color of this bird, it still plagues me. That was off drying. I then grabbed our little tumbling blocks and I glued them off to the side. Now, if you're not familiar with me, hi, my name is Brandy, and I do not recommend you just hot glue anything. Always use a better glue. And if you ever see me just using hot glue, know that I'm in a crunch for time to make content for you. So that's what was going on here, okay? That's what was going on. And then back to the bird I went. I was like, you know what? Let's add some extra white around the edge. I was even contemplating, I think the whole bird would have looked way better if I would have did it all white, and then if I would have highlighted it with the antique Waverly wax, if I'm being honest. Let me know in the comments below. Do y'all like the color of this? I gotta know. I gotta know. Look, I'm even going back over it with antique Waverly wax, trying to save it. Honestly, it's really not even that serious, but in my mind at the time, and I'm still, as I'm editing this. Anyhow, I was like, we're going to add a bird's nest, because why not? The center piece, you know, the focal point is the bird hanging. So we're adding a bird's nest using some messy moss. Okay, because why not? You make your bird's nest however you would like. This has been working for me so far the past, I don't know how many projects. Bird's nest. And then I'm gonna grab some clay. Any clay will do, people. I get asked so many times, what kind of clay? What kind of clay? It's just an egg. We're just, you know, and if you want it to stick together really well, rub some Tite Bond in between your fingers, okay? So then it just makes the clay even super, you know, harder. And then if you want them to stick down in your nest, you're going to want to grab some Tite Bond and put down in there to hold the eggs into place. Okay, that's what I like to do. Again, if you want to use your hot glue, I am no one to tell you how to craft. Okay, this is what I do. And then I took some little pieces of thread and I pushed them through our little bird hole that we created and then tied it to the top. I did add some floral and a little ribbon up at the top, and I put a button in the center so this way it hid the little string. And overall, I think this piece turned out super, super cute. I just really do not like the color of that bird. If you're looking for more Dollar Tree inspiration, check out this video right here. And if you're interested in trying any of the TDS creative products used in this video, check out the DIYstruggle.com. As always, people, thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. Until next time.